We're diving into something a little different today, but
Yeah.
something that I know a lot of you have been super curious about.
Yeah.
This whole idea of prayer as a lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
And this was actually sparked by, your interest in Sandra James and her 4 a.m. prayer challenge.
Yes.
So we're going to try to unpack that a bit today.
Okay.
And maybe explore, what it might look like to really make prayer a part of our everyday lives, not just something we turn to when,
Right.
when we're in a crisis.
Exactly.
So for those who might not be familiar with Sandra James, she's this, online personality who's really big into promoting this idea of a lifestyle of prayer.
Yeah, she's got a huge following.
Yeah, and she's got this challenge, right? The 4 a.m. prayer challenge,
Right.
where she encourages people to wake up at 4 a.m. every day and dedicate that time to prayer.
Yeah, it sounds intense, right?
It does sound a little intense.
I mean, 4
So,
a.m.
it's
early.
Not for everyone. But
God.
I think what's interesting is
Yeah.
the idea behind it, Right.
This idea that prayer is not just an emergency line.
Yes.
It's your,
It's her lifeline.
ooh, I like that.
Yeah, it's about staying connected, not just calling when you need something. It's like, imagine if you only talked to your best friend when you needed help moving or something.
Right.
That wouldn't be a very strong relationship, would it?
No, not at all.
So Sandra's idea is that prayer is about building a real relationship
Yeah.
with something bigger than ourselves.
And it's interesting you bring up the relationship analogy because she
Yeah.
talks a lot about how, traditional views of prayer can sometimes feel transactional.
Oh, yeah, like a vending machine.
Yeah, exactly.
You put in your prayer and hope you get what you ordered.
Right. But she's saying it's more nuanced than that.
Much more.
It's about being open to receiving guidance,
Yeah.
to listening as much as speaking.
Absolutely. And that takes practice.
Right.
Like anything worth having.
Okay, so let's talk about this 4 a.m. thing.
Okay.
Because I have to admit, I'm a little intimidated.
Yeah. 4 a.m. just seems
Yeah.
so early.
It's not for everyone.
Yeah. But is there something special about that time?
Well, there's definitely something to be said for the quiet of those early hours.
Right.
Before the world wakes up and all the distractions start coming at you.
Yeah.
It's like a clean slate,
Yeah.
a chance to really connect with yourself and with whatever you believe in.
And I've read some stuff about how our brains are actually wired to be more receptive to spiritual experiences in the early morning.
Oh, really?
Yeah, something about like lower cortisol levels and
Interesting.
higher alpha brainwave activity or something like that.
Makes sense. I mean, think about how peaceful a sunrise can feel.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a natural invitation to something bigger.
Yeah, so maybe Sandra's onto something with this 4 a.m. thing.
Maybe she is.
But even if we can't or don't want to wake up that early,
Right.
is there a way to still create that kind of space for prayer in our lives?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's about finding what works for you. Like maybe it's not 4 a.m. Maybe it's a 10-minute walk in nature on your lunch break.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's just taking a few deep breaths before you start your workday.
Right, just those little moments.
Exactly. Little moments of intentionality.
Yeah, where you just pause
Mm-hmm.
and connect with something beyond the everyday hustle.
And those moments can be just as powerful.
So it sounds like it's not really about the time or the specific ritual.
No.
It's more about the mindset,
Exactly.
the intention,
It's about cultivating that inner space where you can listen.
and be open to receiving.
Exactly.
So maybe the real challenge isn't waking up at 4 a.m. Maybe the challenge is to really commit to that ongoing conversation
I think you're right.
with whatever we believe in.
Yeah, to make it a part of our everyday lives, not just something we do when we're in trouble.
And to be open to, whatever comes back to us.
Absolutely.
So what do you think? Is this something you could see yourself trying?
I've been thinking about it a lot since I started learning about Sandra James. And I think I'm ready to give it a shot. Maybe not the 4 a.m. thing just yet.
Yeah, baby steps.
But just finding little ways to be more intentional about my prayer life.
I love that.
Yeah, me too.
And I think that's something we can all do.
Absolutely.
Whether we're, seasoned prayer warriors
Right.
or just starting to explore this whole idea.
It's a journey.
Yeah, it is. And, it makes me wonder
Yeah.
if we all started to approach prayer this way, as a lifestyle, as a conversation,
Yeah.
what kind of impact could that have on our lives
That's a great question.
and on the world around us?
Something to think about.
Yeah, definitely something to think about.
All right.
Well, this has been a fascinating deep dive.
I agree.
And I want to thank you for, sharing your insights with us today.
My pleasure.
And to all of you listening, thank you for joining us.
Yes, thank you.
And as always, we encourage you to continue your own deep dive into this topic and to see where it leads you.
Right.
Until next time.